Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, throw open your windows and call out to your neighbors. It's time for the John Perrotta Comedy Factory Zoomalooza Great Impasta Reunion Show, sponsored in part by the nonprofit organization to bring back the Great Impasta. Why? Because we all want to see Sean Sennett headline. And now, your host, John Perrotta.
Mike, we got to talk about what the Great Impasta was. In 1992 and 93, it was about a year and a half, 2 years. All of us came together. I know me and Timmy started it, then Dave came on, and there was the three of us. And we didn't know what we were doing. And we started running this. Brian Derry let us, I don't know, it was once or twice a week. It was every Saturday night, and we had a ball. It got so popular that Edward Jean stopped in, and Charlie Hall, and I remember one show, we had a benefit show, Bob Marley and Tom Carter back to back. We had some great times over there. It was unbelievable. But we got a great band. Everybody on here tonight was at the Great Impasta back in the day. We got from Florida now, Mike Thomas. How you doing, Mike?
Hello!
Over in Warwick, Rhode Island, Dave Watson. The zany one. Was it the zany one? That was your nickname, I remember.
That's it.
And we got from Pawtucket, Rhode Island, Alison O'Donnell. AO, author, comedian, actress. She was in the Ocean State Folly. She sings, she does it all. And then we got my man at Vegas. So if I went out there, I'd probably never come back. We started Frank O'Donnell's comedy class in 91. And then we got wrapped up in the Imposter in 92. It was nuts. We had a ball. Tim Sullivan. How you doing, Tim?
Yeah, we're great, John.
We got to start with Tim Sullivan. What's it like in Vegas, brother?
It's like, I guess, everywhere we got the virus thing going on. Like in public, you got to wear a mask everywhere you go. So everyone looks like bank robbers or would-be bank robbers.
Yeah. What's your memories of the Great Impasta? That was
so many great times out there with all the people, of course, that are on your show here tonight, and names like Tommy Trend and Billy Bailey and Bob Connie and Mike Chappie, and the list goes on and on. Eddie Galvin, Dave DiLorenzo. There was so many great fun people. It was such a big crowd, right?
Yeah, we used to sell it out every week. I don't even know. We didn't even know what we were doing. We charged $5. We used to hack the place.
Yeah.
It's a lot of money back then.
It was a lot of money. We didn't care about making money. We just wanted to get stage time and have fun. I don't know. Did Bill Burr ever wind up performing there? I don't remember if he did.
I don't recall if he did. I know you had him at that chicken place that you did the
chicken farm, yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah. We had a lot of Mike Pryor. I was talking to him on Facebook the other day, and he mentioned the Italian restaurant we used to do. And I said, great. I asked him to come on tonight. But he couldn't make it. Mike Pryor, he used to come on, and he looked like Rick Moranis, and he used to get up there and say, "I shrunk the kids."
Oh yeah. Great opening line.
Yeah. The zany one, Dave Watson. He used to wear the hat with the ponytail.
Oh yeah, I'm still performing there. It's a save right now, but I perform in the hosiery aisle. They throw me out every now and then, but it doesn't matter. I don't care. The food's not good though.
We had a lot of fun. What's your memories of the Great Impasta Day? I remember it was me, you, and Timmy at the beginning. We had no clue what we were doing.
Oh man, it was great, man. We get people to come down from Boston all the time, and it was a blast. I mean, and Eddie Galvin up there, and he'd always drop his pants, and that was a big thing for me then. But I don't talk about that now. But so, well, we used to pack it every week. Every week, people would be there. It was a blast.
Unbelievable. You remember a guy? There was a guy. He was really funny. Bob Orban. I mean, there was this guy. I remember him performing. He was funny.
Yeah.
He used to get up and kill it, and then he just walked away one day. I never saw him again. He did it. He was doing it the first year or two I was doing it. Yeah. And then he just said, I don't know, and he walked away. He was hilarious. But he was a guy, Bob Orban. Remember him.
It's not easy to walk away from.
Yeah,
I'm sure
I should have walked away a long time ago.
He probably realized if he kept it up with the gang that he was with, things would not end well.
Mike, I remember you. You used to have the leather jacket.
Oh my God!
You had a lot of hair. You had a leather jacket. We used to have an occasional cocktail.
Yeah, I got my cocktail tonight. I got my flask. I was such a douche back then with the leather jacket. I'm sure I'm still a douche now, but I remember the Great Impasta for me was I took Frank O'Donnell's comedy class in '92, and that was right after you started Great Impasta. So when I did Periwinkles for the graduation, you were there roaming around talking to everybody like you were in a mob. And I mean, how could I say no? You came up to me and I was in the corner and you're like, I got a show. You're going to do it. I was like, all right.
Me and Tim, we were looking for people. We needed comics.
And the Great Impasta was a great room for, you know, and I said it before when we talked about it. The thing that was so great about that room was it was really challenging because you got the same crowds week after week because it was the same neighborhood people coming in that, you know, and if you performed, you had to do stuff that you might not have even tried before because nobody's going to want to sit there and watch the same show, you know. But yeah, that was a great
memory I got. My mom and dad used to come quite a bit. They used to come and that was back when they were, you know, healthy before, you know, they get sick and everything. They used to come to shows, and my father always said, "These shows," he was nuts. He used to say, "These shows are like Vegas shows." He loved the shows, you know. Yep. But he used to make me think, hey, maybe we're going to get somewhere, you know. We didn't get too far, but we tried.
My parents lived literally around the corner from that, so they were there all the time too. It was so convenient. They were there all the time.
Yeah, and Alison O'Donnell, what's your memory of the Great Impasta?
Brother, I don't know when I walk into a room why I'm in there, so I don't know if I can remember back to that far back. I'll tell you what, though, didn't that used to be an Asian restaurant?
Maybe. It was an Italian restaurant when we went in there, but it might have been before. I don't know.
Because I was only 5 when I performed there, so I don't remember much. But I sang before I got into comedy, and I remember gigging at an Asian restaurant in that same White House. So I go even further back before the Great Impasta. Yeah, but I remember it was a great room. I remember that.
I remember Greg Johnson and Brian Deary and Joe Cabral had his own show every week. I think there was like 2 or 3 things a week going on over there. It was crazy.
Love
Mike Cronin, he used to be the bad boy of comedy. This is when he had the long hair, and he was a maniac. He used to drink heavy, and now he's Grampy Mike. Talk about your days at the Great Impasta, Mike.
The Great Impasta was very dear to my heart. It was the big foundation for me. It was where I developed the stage persona of the bad boy of comedy, grow my hair out super duper long, the tux tail jacket, the white and black balloon pants with the black Chuck Taylor Con sneakers and the cartoon t-shirt underneath. And it was there that I was able to really grow as a stand-up. I went from 3 to 5 to 5 to 7 to 7 to 10 to 10 to 12 and right up the line. And within probably like a year, I was closing shows there. So it always had a special place in my heart. It was very professional. The stage was nice. What did it seat? Did it seat like 100 people in that neighborhood? It
was around 100, like Timmy. Was it around 100?
Between 120 right in that area.
Yeah. It was a lot. It was a lot of fun. It was a great room to go and really develop, and that's a credit to you, John, because before that,
it was me, Tim, and Dave.
Really,
it's us 3 guys. We were all. Well, I met you at Periwinkles first, but the 3 of us were kind of running that, right, Dave? Because Dave came in a little after, but it was me, Timmy, and Dave that we kind of shared running it. Us 3 guys were running.
I remember when I first met Dave, I thought the ponytail was legit. I thought that was really his long hair. I was like, oh, cool. The dude's got long hair like me. And then he rips the thing off on stage. I was like,
that was real?
Yeah, well, I was shocked. I thought it was real when I first met.
I thought it was real.
When I first met Dave. You thought it was real too? I had a lot of fun. I've got a lot of great memories there. Fortunately, most of the sets that I did have there were good sets. It was a lot of fun. It was a shame to see it go and fade out. It was such a popular room because at at that stage in my career, and most of everyone on the Zoom show tonight, we weren't getting major stage time at Periwinkles. It just wasn't happening. I used to beg Charlie, beg him, and he used to always tell me, Michael, I think you're funny, but you're not clever and clean. And I was stuck and not going anywhere. He finally did give me Frank Santos, but I got Frank Santos long after I developed the bad boy of comedy persona. So that all came together for me at the Great Impasta. I was able to learn timing, let a joke breathe, engage with the audience. I'll never forget one night I came in, and I know John never appreciated this. If I was closing a show, I didn't want to get there when the thing opened up. I like to get there like maybe a half hour before my times to go on, and that used to drive him crazy. So I get there, and everyone's huddled in the back as they always were, and I'm talking with Rockin' Joe, and he tells me that the guy sitting at, I always call it the A table right up front, he goes, oh, this guy's drunk. He's heckling everybody. He's just a pain in the butt, not leaving anybody alone. So I get up there, and I used to do the Arsenio Hall open, how I was very disappointed. It's my birthday. I asked the host to introduce me this way. He wouldn't do it. And I looked at the guy. I said, dude, I got an idea. How about you come up and introduce me? So he's like, yeah, I'll do it. Says, whoa, wait. Let's have a shot just to, calm the nerves, loosen you up. What do you want? So I get him a shot. We do that one. So then we have that shot, and I'm talking just to him. He's like looking at me like a child talking to Santa Claus. So I'm like, we're about to get ready. But you know what? I know I could use another shot because I'm a little jittery now. I've never done this before. How about yourself? Want another shot, calm the nerves? Yeah. So now I get him another shot. I bring the guy up on stage with me, does my intro, sits back down at his table, and behaved like he was sitting in church. And I walk to the back of my set, and Rockin' Joe looks at me and goes, you son of a bitch. And I'm like, dude, how could you not think of that? How could you not have thought of that yourself? Come on. I'm not a rocket scientist.
John,
Yeah.
do you remember the time we were, you picked me up, we were going to a show, and we're driving along, and you go, Dave, have you seen A Few Good Men? I said, oh, John, I've been with a few good men.
It's funnier when you say it.
It's nuts. Yeah, I remember things tell me different things. It'll come back. I remember going in there on Saturday nights, and I would always ask the waitress how many reservations we got. Then we go up and ask them, oh, you got 80, you got 90, you got 75. Oh, it was always every week, and then we get walk-ins. So every week, it was almost every week we filled it up. Like
And that was
a year and a half, 2 years. It was like once we got going, it was like, it was an open mic. It was basically a lot of new guys coming from Boston, all around us guys. And I don't know how we did it, but people enjoyed the shows.
That's what made the show so good, because there's nothing worse when you're like, you're trying out new material and you show up at one of John Perrotta's Comedy Factory gigs, and you walk in and there's 4 people in there. And John's like, oh no, we're still performing. And you perform for those 4 people.
We've done that too.
4 people to laugh, but man, I'll tell you, in a room full of 110, if you can get 30 or 40 people to laugh, it just gets the whole crowd involved. And that's what made that room so good. It gave you true feedback. Yeah. It gave you true feedback of what would work and what wouldn't work.
Yeah. People, we like you said, we had a lot of
I enjoyed
regulars,
it because for me, it didn't have the feel of an open mic for me. For one, the food, I thought the food was good. The food was good. And the show was always sold out. I can remember when you were running Friday and Saturday. It was really like Warwick's version of the Copacabana. The crowd, they came to laugh. Everyone enjoyed themselves. It was a great time.
Didn't we eat for free too? Didn't you get some kind of?
I don't think we ate for free. Do we eat for free, Tim?
Drink for free. All the soda you could drink for free, right?
Yeah. Okay, all right. I knew there was something you could get for free, but
I just remember the restaurant itself wasn't doing well. Like Friday, Saturday, whenever we had the shows, we did well. But during the week, the restaurant wasn't doing that well. And about a year and a half, 2 years in, they said we're closing. And I remember that hurt, because we really liked it there.
So there's a website, right? It's called what it used to be, Warwick, and it's a blog spot, and it has every single business in business now, in every single place in Warwick, and what it used to be. So that says that started as
Great house.
it says it,
I think it was a Rigatoni's at one time.
It says now a Family Dollar. The former Rite, it wasn't before that. It was a Rite Aid pharmacy. It said it was the site of a Firestone Tires store from September 1962 to the mid 70s. Then it became Uncle Tony's Pizza and Pasta from 76 to 84.
That's what I remember.
Before being replaced by Mama Spumoni's in September of 84 until 91. And then in 92, it became the Great Impasta restaurant. There's actually a picture of it where you can see the Mama Spumoni's sign. But I didn't think it was where Mama Spumoni's was, but that's what this says.
So we got Great House.
The Great House is on Post Road, Allison. That's on Post Road.
See how bad my memory is? And by the way, Mike, thank you, because I have Copacabana going around my head, and it's going to be wow.
Really? It was a cool room because it had that professional feel. People were only paying $5, but they were coming to laugh. It was a room where I was proud to, like, if I had like friends come down, I was psyched that they were showing up to that show because I knew that they were not going to be let down.
There was a bunch of us. We banded together, and we just had a great time. Like, it was a lot of fun. Timmy, we did that fundraiser. I forget what it was for, but I remember. You guys must have been. What was there? That Timmy must have been there. Dave,
for like an animal shelter.
Tom Carter.
Animal shelter one time.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, Tom Carter and Bob Marley won a back-to-back. You remember that show?
Yeah. Impressive, right? Impressive lineup.
Try to get Tom Carter and Bob Marley now on a show together.
If you get one of them, you're lucky.
Yeah, and I don't know who else was in that show, but we had other.
Just a great lineup.
We had a lot of guys. That benefit I remember was off the charts. That was crazy.
John, I used to eat for free though. I put a waiter's apron on, and I'd go and side tables, and I'd bring them back, and the thing didn't look good. I'd eat it before I brought it to the kitchen. So that worked. It wasn't bad.
I remember Judy, the waitress. She was the waitress. Judy was the main waitress there. There were other ones, but I remember Judy.
That was one that Eddie Galvin used to date her, right? Eddie Galvin.
Yeah, Eddie Galvin did a lot of things. I can't keep up with Eddie.
You never forget his hamburger helper glove. Him and his hamburger helper glove there, right?
Yeah.
His hamburger helper glove.
Do you remember the night Sean Sennett? Do you remember the night he came in with a megaphone and he was doing something about cats in Chinese restaurants? Doing the cat noises.
I remember the night Joe Cabral took him off the stage.
Yeah, that was after the Rodney King thing. We don't want to get into that tonight, but Sean decided to do a thing on Rodney King. And there was some African Americans there that weren't too happy. They got up and left, and we had to get him off the stage. It's going to cause a riot. I mean, he was crazy. That kid.
God.
He was
we
crazy.
went out after that show. We went out to a bar after that show. So as a joke, in the restroom, there was a black guy. And I said, "Hey, buddy, will you do me a favor?" And I explained to him about the Rodney King doll and all. So he went out and started giving him shit. But it was a joke, and he was a put on, Sean Sennett, his face dropped. He looked like he wanted to die. It was like friggin' hilarious. We went to a little bar on Post Road.
Have you guys ever had that happen to you where people recognize you when they come up and they give you crap about it? Like I was in I think Antonio's in Cranston, and the server said to me, "Hey, you do comedy, right?" And I said, "Yes." He said, "I saw your show." And I'm like, "Oh, a fan, great, right?" And he says to me, "My girlfriend broke up with me because of you. You said something about a free mustache ride, and he now." And I said, "You know what? I did you a favor because she has no sense of humor." And he went, "You're right." But did you ever have that happen? People recognize you and say, and give you crap about yourself.
Yeah, things are bad. Go ahead, Mike.
You end up pooping just a little until you realize what they're upset about, and you're like, "Oh my God!" And you look around for like somebody like, "Oh my God, is somebody watching?" At least there's a witness, right? Because you don't know what they're gonna do.
Right.
Crazy. Timmy, how do we used to go around with coupons. I remember we used to get
Yeah, hand them out to everybody.
2-for-1s and free
Put 'em on the wood
passes.
here.
And
Go to the colleges, put them on.
yeah, we just papered Timmy was at Rhode Island College and he was giving out stuff. We were just sometimes papering the room. We'd give free passes, 2-for-1s. Like I said, we didn't do it for the money. That's a great thing. It wasn't like we were starting out. It was a hobby. We never looked at it like, oh, I want to make $100. We just want to have fun, you know.
Were you using these then?
There you go, man. There you go.
Yeah, you're going way back.
Wow.
What do you got, Timmy? Timmy's got something over here.
I don't know if you can see that or not.
He's got the Great Impasta coupon.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Oh
I
my
see it. Yeah.
Some of the coupons. There's some of the coupons.
Oh, my God.
Man,
I remember
those
those
are some
coupons.
great memories.
Check this out. I'm purging my basement and my attic. And up in the attic today, I have a rack of clothes that I started pulling down. I'll never wear again. And I pulled out 3 Ocean State Follies shirts.
Wow.
The uniform, you have the logo. And I did the math. It's 30 years
I
ago.
see it, Timmy.
Yeah, 30 years ago this year since I wore that shirt.
Those were
There's the Great Impasta coupon right there. Timmy's got. That's the ones we used to have made.
Timmy, why are you saving this stuff? Just
We
wondering.
used to have. I found one too. Yeah, we had tons of them things. We used to make tons of them.
Stack them, right? Yeah.
It was
I
crazy.
found this the other day. I was doing what Allison was doing, and my wife there's a note on the back of it that my wife left for my son, it looks like, back then at some point. And I'm like, why the hell are we saving this? And I flipped it over, and it was this. But Allison, you could probably sell that uniform. I'm telling you, those State Follies, those were great. People loved those. Those went on for years. Those were great.
Sell it. I didn't even think about that. I still have time to get them out of the you know,
What the
I
hell?
have some old postal clothes too and staff shirts from camp. And I think I can't sell this stuff because you don't know who's gonna buy it and pretend to be somebody they're not. And
That's true. Sell
um,
it under Mike Cronin's name. It's fine. It'll be fine.
You know what you should do? The postal stuff. Yeah, go over to Cronin's and put it on him. Give him a bag of mail. Let him go around delivering in his neighborhood. They'll think he's the postman now. What do you think, Monk? You want to deliver some mail?
Grampy might become. Hey,
guys,
man. Hey, I'm open to new careers.
check out Cronin's chair. For the longest time, I thought he had some dysfunctional Mickey Mouse ears. It took me a while to figure out what was going on with that funky look right there.
This chair is high tech, man. This is a high tech, ergonomically correct chair.
It holds your head in place, does it?
When I'm watching movies, I lean back like this. It rocks. Man, it's a great chair. I love this chair.
Allison, the first time he used that backdrop, it was black. And I said, Mike, next show you got to come on with a black shirt on, and all you'll see is the floating head. So the next time I turn on, all you could
did
see
it.
was Mike's head floating around the mic. You couldn't see anything. It was hilarious.
Now he just looks like the Prince of Darkness.
Yeah.
The bad guy of comedy.
Yeah, I got a funny thing that happened.
Jesus.
It's kind of related to the Great Impasta. Years later, I was doing comedy at a place called 12 Acres in Smithfield, mostly a wedding place. And they had these curtains behind the stage, kind of like old style curtains. And that night, the owner, George, was the owner of the Great Impasta. He owns Mama's Famoni's. He owns 12 Acres. So he comes there. He's there with a couple of the other owners. There was this one guy who was kind of crazy. One of the comedians gets up and makes fun of the curtains. The owner come up to me, not George, one of the other owners. He was ripped shit. He was all pissed off at me that the guy, he made fun of the curtains. It was like, I think we were in Newport at a mansion or something. He's making fun of the curtains. That's what we do. You know what I mean? And the guy went crazy. And Danny Miller was the comedian. We always joke about him. I talk to him, we'll see him. Don't talk about the curtains. That happened from the Impasta years later. The same owner.
That here, 12 Acres. That's where our wedding reception was. 12
Yeah,
Acres.
we did some comedy over there. Yeah. What you gonna say,
My
Dave?
daughter got married there.
I'm pretty sure I did the 12 Acres. I did one of those shows up there because I thought it was funny because we got married there. But
It's always funny wherever you get married.
John, you remember when we did the fundraiser for me, and then Link, you were making fun of Link all night? Call him Opie.
Yeah, Dave had me come to, he got involved in some politics in Warwick. And Link Chafee was running for mayor. He was already mayor.
He was already mayor, yeah.
He was already mayor, and he had me coming. I busted his balls. I don't remember.
You kept calling him Opie from Mayberry, you know.
Oh, shit.
That's right. It all went right over his head. He didn't even catch on to anything.
And he wound up being a governor and a senator, and he was everything, man.
Oh, yeah, everything. Master of ceremonies at a circus. I don't know.
John, you know why your road was the last one to be plowed during every snowstorm.
That's right.
I didn't live in Warwick, but it would have been probably good. I remember doing that. That was fun. Link Chafee, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I met Link once. I was the voice of the Warwick Veterans Memorial High School Hurricane football team for 6 years. I took my sound system that I had, and that's what I used. I burned all kind of CDs. It was just like going to Gillette Stadium. It was incredible. So we had Hurricane.
Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, I thought that was just, I meant Link Chafee because my father-in-law, Link Chafee worked at Electric Boat. And my
Link Chafee did?
Yeah. My father-in-law was his boss.
What did Link Chafee do at Electric Boat?
I don't know what the garbage is. I have no idea. But
he's a multi-millionaire. What the heck's he doing at Electric Boat?
I'm telling you, he was young, and my father-in-law was his boss. And every time Link Chafee was at something that we were at, even like if he was in the Gatsby Day Parade or whatever, he always made a point to come over and see my father-in-law, which I thought, wow, that must be pretty good for my father-in-law. This guy is taking time out of it, you know. But that's how I met him and I'm like, how the hell do you know him? He said he worked for me. I went, what?
He seemed like a good. He always seemed like a good guy at the times.
Yeah, he was.
I met him on TV and stuff, you know.
Down to earth.
We dedicated the new Hurricane Field. All new grass, the track, the whole bit, goalpost. So Link Chafee is the mayor, so he comes up, cuts the ribbon for the dedication. He stayed for the entire game, which I was very impressed. Nice guy to talk to, very approachable, and he sat in the stands on a cold fall morning and stayed for the whole game. Very cool.
Well, we needed him to keep the Great Impasta open. That's what we needed.
We did. And his parents, their home, John Chafee, his dad, when you're riding into down by Goddard Park, their like mansion, horse farm is down there. Matter of fact, I think he had a sister that lost her life.
Yeah, she fell off the horse or something.
Off the horse, yep.
Yeah.
Horse, yeah.
He was buried there.
A trick sliding off the back, and the horse kicked her. That's where they lived.
Yeah.
I remember, John, when I went to one of the Follies once, and Link was there. So I worked for the city because my wife worked for Link Chafee. And so I went from working at the ice rink, I became a building inspector. So I remember saying to him, Link, you know, I'm a building inspector now. He looks at me real disappointed and goes, you don't get to drive the Zamboni anymore?
Oh.
You know?
That's cool. That's awesome. That's awesome.
I think that's everybody's fantasy. At one point, you want to drive the Zamboni once.
Oh, it was a blast. It was, I have to say.
Me and Alison and Tim, I know we never drove a Zamboni. If we had one, we would have been going up and down Warwick Ave, giving out 2-for-1 coupons.
Yeah.
Because I had them with me everywhere. I used to give them out everywhere I went, telling people, you got to check this show out.
God, I remember those coupons. I remember walking around with those coupons.
Yeah, we gave them to everybody. All the comedians had them. All the guys had them. Yeah, I remember Rick D'Elia. He's done well. Rick D'Elia used to come, and Mike Gaudiano used to do impersonations. It was really good. I'm friendly with him on Facebook now, but he's an artist. He does artwork. Mike Gaudiano is really funny. Try to think of some of the names from back then, but
PK Smith.
Mike Cappy from Boston came on. Mike Cappy. It was him. Remember the guy Bob Connie? I was going to say if he could come on. I didn't get a chance. Bob Connie used to come up and he used to sing Underdog. He used to come up and do the theme to Underdog. That's how he started. He didn't say nothing. Then he just went into Underdog. And I always found it hilarious, man. Bob Connie.
Who was the stand-up that used to start a show? He'd get up there and he'd say, "I want to start my show with a little magic," and he'd hold up this little Magic Johnson doll. Who was that?
I don't remember.
He was a little
I don't
guy.
know how you guys. I don't know how you guys even remember this. I'm with Allison. You guys are telling stories and they're coming back to me, but I'm like, I don't remember any of this.
I remember another night.
Oh, because remember DJ Hazard? He'd be like, I wrote a whale song. I hope you like it. He'd be all serious and go, come on, hilarious. You can't forget these things.
That's funny.
His whole set, but there was that, and oh my God, you got Rockin' Joe Hebert with the, Girls from Fall River. Just things stick with you.
And there was that other girl, Denise Weems. Was it Weems?
Black girl, right?
Black girl, real fun. She was just all kind of wacky stuff. She was there was remember the guy Harry, had the older guy, Laura Lee Stickle,
his wife.
and Harry Harris.
Yeah.
Remember that guy? He was an older guy. He was actually an actor. He had a mustache, and his wife. They were older, and they did comedy. They brought us a banner one time to put up, and they were nice people. He was an actor and stuff, and he must have been in his 70s then.
Wow.
75 years old. I'm talking the early 90s,
You just reminded me. I remembered something, and I swear this was the Great Impasta. John something. He's like a character actor who does a lot of presidents. John something.
John Rourke.
Oh, yes.
Brian Derry was friendly with John Rourke, who was on Fridays, the TV show, and Derry had John Rourke. We were all excited. Remember, Timmy?
Yeah.
Nick on 2.5.
Oh, yeah.
2.5. He played.
He went up and he did everything. He did Bush and Donahue and
Reagan,
yeah, he was good.
Great guy.
I remember you brought a guy in. He was not from Rhode Island. I want to say he was from New Hampshire. I'm not sure. But he had long hair like mine, and he did a bit about moguls when you're skiing.
Dominic Fig. Remember Dominic Fig?
I don't remember
You
his
go to the
name. I
girls'
remember
He had long hair, and he was from like Boston somewhere. He got pretty big too.
Maybe that was him. This guy was he was just tight. He was a nice guy. He talked to me for a while after that show. I remember the bit he did about moguls. I remember the whole place was like just rolling on the floor. They were laughing so hard at him. That was just a great room.
Yeah, we had there's so
room.
many names. You think, this guy was there, this girl. We had a lot of
Greg Wright.
Greg Wright.
That's who I was thinking of. He was really skinny, right?
Yeah. Greg
Oh,
Wright.
Greg Wright. Yeah, Greg Wright. I remember.
Greg Wright would take the mic stand and he'd say, "Let me get this out of the way so you can see me."
Yeah.
Oh,
And then years later, Dave DiLorenzo used to do that all the time. God bless you, Dave.
Dave DiLorenzo.
Dave never heard somebody else's joke that he didn't like.
One time, my mother and father were there at a show, and Dave went up to my mother. I don't know, they were talking, and my mother calls me over. I guess my mother was second cousins with Dave's mother, so she said, "You guys are some kind of cousins." So after that, Dave always called me his cousin. So me and Dave DiLorenzo. God rest his soul. He passed away. It's been in February will be a year. He passed away. Yeah.
Wow.
That happened at Great Impasta? That whole exchange with
Yeah.
mother? Really?
My mother and father was sitting there. Dave went over. She called me over, and he's your cousin. And those were great times, though. We had so much fun, Timmy, Dave.
I think
Allison,
Dave, a small part of me thinks Dave probably paid your mother to say that. And I mean that with all I swear, I think Dave probably.
I'll tell you, man, Dave DiLorenzo, I was tight with Dave for. Here's how close I was with Dave.
how close were you, Mike?
Well, close enough to where I introduced him to my ex-wife, and they dated. I
That's pretty
love
close.
Dave,
That's
and I
pretty
had a
close.
lot of fun with him. And I'll tell you the thing that, and this is not disparaging whatsoever. No one had a better voice than Dave DiLorenzo. You go to the NFL, you hit a lot of those Hall of Fame busts, and that's his voice because he worked for NFL Films for a lot of years. He had a good career on radio with WLNE as Dave Lawrence. I used to always, when we were hanging out and someone come up, I'd always ask him if he would do the weather for them, and they'd be just amazed. But the thing that people didn't realize is that when you took Dave away from all of that, and you're just driving with him in the Firebird, he talked like somebody off The Sopranos.
Oh yeah.
He was totally, forget about it. This guy, that guy. I mean, he talked Rhode Island Italian slang better than anybody. But when you put him in front of an audience, let me tell you something. If you were invited to a house party and you brought Dave Lorenzo, you were a hero. And if you're invited back to that house party again and you didn't bring Dave, they're not letting you in. That's how funny Dave Lorenzo was. He was funny.
We met at the Great Impasta, Dave DiLorenzo and I, and we met. We worked a lot together through John and everything else, and we always did. Dave would book bachelor parties, and I hated doing bachelor parties. Hated them because a lot of my act was clean. I didn't, I could do filthy stuff, but I didn't really like to, and But we would do these shows, and I'm telling you, we did one show. They loved us, but I swear to God, they threw forks at us. They threw knives at us. They threw chicken wings at us. They threw meat at us. I mean, but they loved us. And Dave and I sat there, and I can't remember where it was. It was off Atwood Ave. It was some club off Atwood Ave in Cranston or Johnston up there. But I'm telling you, we left feeling humiliated and overjoyed because they hated us, but threw all the shit on the table at us. Everything they could find, they could throw at us. And it was great. It was great.
After I left you guys, I got to tell you, some of you guys might have heard this story. I don't know if Timmy heard or Dave, but I did a bachelor party. And I got pretty good doing the bachelor parties because I bought the balls and stuff, and used to go pretty good. I'm at one bachelor party. I'm goofing around with everybody. There's this biker. He's around 7 feet tall. He comes over to me. I got the mic. I weighed 250 at the time. He gets me, picks me up. He's got me in the air. I'm at the Edgewood Yacht Club in Cranston. I got the mic. I'm up in the air. The window's there and the water's there. He's coming over to the window, and I'm saying to myself, if he throws me out the window, even though I was in the Navy, I can't swim. So I'm going to go out this window with a mic in my hand, and I'm going to go in the water, and nobody's going to save me. I'm going to drown. This is it. I gave my life to comedy. And thank God the guy put me down, and he was laughing. He walked away. Now, I've run into that guy 3 or 4 times since then through the years. He lives somewhere around. And I just waved to him and walk away. Yeah, bachelor parties can be dangerous. Bachelor parties can be dangerous.
I could see John in Walmart. All right, we're done shopping. No, we're not. We haven't even gone to the checkout. We're done shopping. Let's go.
John, you remember we went to, it was a show in Roxbury. It was a small club, and it was a tough crowd. These big dudes who were like, make me laugh. I was the only chick in the room. And you went up and you did your thing, and they, you said something that pissed them off, and they were not laughing at all. And you were like, good luck, AO, because, tough crowd. I think I had nothing to lose, and I got up there and said something about one of them being really stupid, and they all just started laughing, like, thank God, because can you imagine how that night could have ended?
I remember you remember PK Smith, because we did a benefit at the Impasta Farm when he fell off the roof.
Fell off the
yeah, I haven't seen him. I lost touch with him, but he was a great guy. PK Smith, I went, when I just started getting to know him, we went to some club. It was a Roxbury or somewhere, rough area. It was me and him. I don't know if any of you guys were there. It was me and PK. And so they had a metal detector. And this was in the early 90s. They had a metal detector. So we walk in. So we're comedians, and the guy said, "Oh, you don't have to go through the metal detector. Go around." We go to the bar. PK moves his coat. He's got a gun. You're gonna be. We should have went through the metal detector. Never mind these people. He's got a freaking gun on him. I said, "You mind?"
I remember PK Smith. I use one of his lines that he used in his bit. I use it to this day. I probably even said it this week, and that is, I'm spent like loose change. And the other thing I remember about PK, when he'd wrap up his show, he'd say, "Hey, if you like me, I'm PK Smith. If you didn't, I'm Kenny Rogerson." He was so, I loved PK. How he survived falling off that scaffold and breaking his back. I mean, the guy he was busted up like a Legos
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
He-
saw him a
he-
couple years later in Kmart, and I didn't recognize him. It had aged him a little bit, and
Yeah, I hope he's
He was in a lot.
all right, because I kind of lost touch the last few years with him. I hope he's still around. I know he had stents put in. He had different surgeries with his heart.
he would.
I hope
He
he
would-
was such a good guy, Timmy. I
Yeah,
remember
he-
PK.
You're a real good guy.
Yeah, really good
He would-
guy.
He would do the routine about the vasectomy. He would talk about
Yeah,
having
yeah.
a vasectomy, and every guy in the room was like,
Talk about it being a bag of night crawlers.
"Oh,
When they open it up,
Always
bag of
sex.
night
back
crawlers.
to rollers, right?"
I'll tell you what, he built his act up. PK, at one time, he was really killing it. Like for a period of time when he was going on comedy. He was funny, man. But one time we were at Periwinkle's Comedy Club, and I remember PK got up. I didn't know him that well then. And I guess, I don't know what happened. He was yelling at a guy in the audience for something he did on stage. The guy didn't like, I don't know, was a gate, whatever it was. But one thing, and the guy's yelling at Frank O'Donnell was there. PK, there was a mess. But we all seem to get in trouble now. And
PK, you know what was
He was
PK?
such a
What served? You know, PK got hurt. He fell off the roof like we. But you know what? That taught him not to give a shit, because he didn't give a shit. He
he
didn't give a
didn't care.
But
He
you know
didn't
what? I'm
care.
gonna go out there. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna say whatever I want. It just gave him that attitude of. But he was a good guy. We gotta see where he is.
Yeah,
what
we
he-
gotta
I
find
gotta
him.
try to look him up. I hope he's still around.
He was one of the nicest, genuine. I remember PK. He always had a sport jacket on. He was always so friendly. He genuinely cared about you. He always carried a good he was just a good person.
Yeah.
And like you said, John, man, he built up his act. He added to it. He was funny. PK was very funny, and he was well liked. Well liked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else you got, Timmy? Timmy, you got anything else from
Do you
back
remember those young guys from URI? I think they went by a weird name. They chose the name the Beatles.
the Beatles?
Oh my God, the Beatles! They were great.
Yes,
They're funny.
I
as hell.
remember the
Funny as
Beatles.
hell.
Yep.
guys, right? You guys?
Yeah,
two
the
guys.
Beatles. They
Two
used to get up
guys,
there and sing songs and act things out, and
Yeah.
They were fantastic. Whatever happened to them?
You know, I
Yeah,
don't know.
they broke up, and I ran into the heavier one time, and he got out. I said, "You ever want to do it? Let me know." But they got out of it. So
They were great together.
They're funny.
They
they were
were
good,
absolutely
yeah.
And
fabulous.
you didn't see too many duos. Think about it. How many duos?
Nah, not that many.
You're right, yeah.
I kind of got friendly lately. I never saw him, Timmy. We missed them. We were right after them guys, Cato and Morin. There was this comedy duo, and they blew up. They went late 80s, and like 91, 92, they went to New York. They headlined all the clubs in Boston. They were a comedy, and I got friendly with Tommy Morin, who's Cato passed away, Cato or Morin. But they did for like 3 years. They went from their first open mic, within 9 months they were headlining. And I'm saying,
Wow.
he told me the whole story. They went to Boston, and they started headlining Catch a Rising Star, all the clubs in Boston. You know how tough it is to crack them.
Yeah.
They headlined, right? They headlined New York City. I mean, these guys were on fire, so some guys go, they shoot up, you know what I mean?
I always wanted my brother, my older brother is my oldest brother. He is absolutely hysterical. And I always told him, we got to do it together. Because I'm telling you, we would have been, and he just didn't want to do it. He did not want to do it. He wouldn't do it. I tried to tell him, and he just
He
wouldn't
didn't
do
want to
it.
hear it.
My
Nope.
brother's name Billy.
Well, so I have two brothers, Billy and Don. But Don was the one.
Wait, you have a sister Karen?
Yep, you went to school with Karen, I think.
Yeah. Oh my God, I've known you since second grade.
Yeah. Yep. You went to school because we grew up in the same area, but you went to school with Karen, and but my older brother Donnie, he's still to this day. I tell him all the time. He was my biggest fan. Well, I wanted him to be my biggest fan. He's my oldest brother, And I'd go out and I'd go at the Comedy Connection, or I'd go here, and I'll never forget it. I went to the Comedy Connection, had a great set. Everybody's laughing. His biggest compliment would be, he would look right at me and go, "Well, you didn't suck." And that was, to me, that was like, wow, he actually liked my show. But that's what his compliment would be. "Well, you didn't suck." So I always wanted him to do it, and he never ever didn't have any.
if things were back right now, we could get everybody here. We could put together a Great Impasta reunion show. If it wasn't because of the pandemic, we'd have get as many comics from the Impasta back in the day and have one big show. Everybody do a few minutes. That would be cool.
Fun. That would be great.
Yeah.
Hey, John.
Try to get some of the guys from Boston back. And
John, do you remember the time that I think we went to Catch a Rising Star? We're on our way back. It's like, I don't know, 1 or 2 in the morning or something. And we got pulled over by a state trooper. And you're fiddling around. You go, no, brother, really? We just came from a comedy show. And I've got my recorder right here. You're reaching between the seat trying to find your tape recorder. And I'm going, John, you're going to get shot. Please stop it. He's going, put your hands on the wheel, sir. I'm like,
I don't remember. Was I nuts?
I don't remember that. Oh, I was so scared. I'm like, John, don't get it. No, you don't need it. Don't.
What the hell was I going to show him? The tape recorder?
Yeah, you were going to go, look, here it is. You're going to play some of your set for him, you know.
You're making me think of another story. One night after a show, it was like 1 o'clock in the morning. I had a few drinks. I pull out of a gas station. My headlights are out. All of a sudden, the trooper, the lights come on. I'm saying, I'm screwed. He pulls next to me, rolls the window down. I roll my window down. He says, tell me a couple of jokes. That's the guy. I did his birthday party. I won't mention his name. I did his birthday party like 2 years before his 30th birthday party. And he remembered me, and he just busted my balls. And I'm over there shitting my pants. And he's like, tell me a joke. And I'm saying, tell you a joke. That's crazy, man. Yeah. Who else came?
I don't know.
Remember who
I
else
don't
came
know
back
if,
then?
You remember
What are you going to say, Mike?
J.H. Torito? El Torito. Remember the El Torito?
Oh, J.A. Timmy used to go to the open mic at El Torito, Norwood, Mass. He said, come up with me, and I wound up going up there. We used to go up there a lot of weeks. A lot of Boston guys. And me and Timmy be up there at Lorenzo sometimes. I don't know if Mike, Dave, you guys ever go there?
I swear to God, that was one of the rooms we went to, and there was like 5 people in it.
This was, they always had
pretty good crowd. Was it like a Mexican restaurant?
Yeah. Guy J.A. used to book it. He was a ball buster. He was a ball buster, Timmy.
Yeah, he was out there. He was
and Ralphie Joyle was there, and Freddie Stone.
Yeah, Freddie Stone, he was funny.
And I'm telling you, I remember doing a show because Ralphie Joyle was Ralphie J at the time.
Yeah.
It was the first night I met Ralphie J, and we were working together, and he had a great set, I had a great set, and I remember like he had no way to get home. He had no ride home. I'm like, Ralphie, what are you doing? He's like, I don't know. I don't have any ride home. We ended up driving him home. We're like, come on. I didn't even know the guy. I mean, I just met him. I'm like, this guy could, kill us and put us in our trunk and drive off with us. I'm like, but and Janet, to this day, you had a show on, and I was watching it, and she goes, is that Ralphie J? And I'm like, no, his name's Ralphie Joy. I'm like, oh my God, it is Ralphie J. I'm like, holy shit. And she's like, you remember we gave him a ride home? I went, nope. I did my Allison. I said, nope, I don't remember shit. And then she reminded me, and I remembered. I went, oh my God, I do remember that.
We're getting old.
Had no way to go. No way to go.
You remember Mark Schneider? Electric guitar.
Mark Snyder. Yeah, he goes by Sparky. Yeah, Mark Snyder. Yeah.
I remember him.
He was funny.
Was he at the Impasta too?
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was funny. He was funny as hell.
I want to know what Tim what else does Tim have in his little scrapbook there from the Great Impasta? Do you just have the coupons?
Just the coupons, a few flyers, yeah. A few flyers.
You remember anybody else, Tim, Dave? You guys remember anybody else from we mentioned a lot of names tonight. But,
who's that? There was this kid that he was kind of heavy, and he would always do, one of his bit was you have they would go orange juice. You have juice, yeah. We have orange juice, we have grape juice, we have. And this was kind of the shtick that he did. And he did something on tires, too. I can't remember. I think it was at Governor Francis Inn one time. We used to go there, too, sometimes.
Yeah, we did the back room over there for a little while. That didn't go so well, but we tried.
I did it all. We don't care. I did a couple of shows there.
One of the worst rooms John had, no offense, John, but you have some bad. There was a room in Pawtucket. And it was an outdoor seating area that we had the stage at. And the waitresses and waiters would come out the door and walk right in front of you. And it was like, there was like 10 or 12 seats. And
it was Firehouse. The Firehouse or something.
It went like 12 feet this way and 12 feet this way, and it was about 4 feet wide. So
That place on Central Ave. Central Ave.
Was it the
and let me
peppermint
tell you,
one? Or the,
It was like a fire station. There used to be a
Yeah.
fire station. We were outside. I think that was it.
I had some friends come to the show. We were performing. Janet was there, my wife, and we were all, we get done performing. We start having a good time. Then a woman started coming around with these little shooters, these banana shooters. Well, we probably bought the whole rack from her at that point. And then all I remember is waking up the next morning, and my wife had the whole tabletop, everything that was on the tabletop in the restaurant was now in my living room. She had all the candles, she had all the napkins, she had all the silverware.
She just took everything.
I'm like, what the hell is this? She goes, well, we took some stuff from the restaurant last night. She had everything.
Crazy, Mike.
Oh.
Hey, you know what, John?
What?
Speaking of Alison, I can remember, to this day, I will actually say to people, I used to work with a comedian, Alison O'Donnell. One of my favorite lines of hers was, some guy took her home or something, and he thought he was going to stay the night. So he goes, hey, how do you like your eggs in the morning? She go, unfertilized, thank you.
I don't remember that.
I don't remember that.
Write it down, Allison. That's a good one. That's a good one.
That stuff to me. And by the way, to answer somebody's question earlier, I am no longer Italian by injection. No. Things are slow.
Okay, that was my question. Yeah.
Yeah, COVID and everything else. Yeah, things are slow.
Yeah, things are slow.
Lonely time. It's a lonely old night.
You got any other names from the past before we wrap it up? Who else I'm trying to think who else came along. There was so many guys. Some of the big guys started stopping. I know Edward Jean came by one night, and Charlie Hall. Some of them were at that time. Rhode Island, they were the big guys. So when they started coming, we knew we had something over there. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Word got around. It was a hot room. We had no clue what we were doing. I still say that to this day. We did on-the-job training. We had no clue. I had no clue. Timmy's the one that said to me, let's start an open mic. I looked at him, let's start an open mic. How do you do that? I thought he was nuts. Let's start our own comedy night. I said, how do you do that?
One thing
now he's playing in Vegas.
Now he's in Vegas.
Just hanging out. They're just hanging out.
One thing that's never changed, Johnny P, is you're still asking the waitresses, how many reservations you got? How many people are coming? How many reservations you got?
I'm not asking anybody anything now with this pandemic going on.
You would be.
I never knew that my comedy career would end with a pandemic, Timmy.
I could always sell a lot of tickets. I worked at a big call center, and I'd sell 100 tickets sometimes to these. He'd call me 5 times a week, 3 times a day. How many tickets you sell? You need more tickets? I can print these out. How many tickets you sell?
When we were doing a C-Comp Ramada Inn, we used to have, I remember Mike used to bring like 7,500 people over there. Crazy. Mike, we got to wrap this up. It's hard to wrap up because it's been a great show.
We're wrapping it up. It's 7:51. Really?
I started here. We get 55 minutes. We're in now, Mikey. These people have lives. You know what I mean? We're not gonna just live in the imposter now.
You know why you say wrap it up, right, Mike? You know why you say wrap it up?
I'm not going to mention this person's name because she will be furious with me. But the other night, and I'll show it to you in private if you don't believe me, I talked to one of my friends for 4 hours and 22 minutes.
Well, you should have recorded it. You could have put it on Facebook.
Well, my question is, my question is, does she really have any other friends, though?
I'm telling you.
What did you talk about for 4 hours?
It was me, okay?
Let me tell you.
Nothing but himself. The whole 4 hours.
I don't believe it. Allison's got other people she'd want to talk to.
I can't believe you didn't say Dave Watson. I thought you were going to say Allison does the thing. Dahmer, Jeffrey Dahmer. That's like my signature.
Oh yeah.
Whatever happened to Brian Deary, John? Do you know whatever?
Brian moved out to Florida. He wound up. He worked in a prison doing some psychology.
He's like a psychologist, yeah.
Anyway, he had some. I know he fell. I don't know if he broke his hip or something. Last night I talked to Greg Johnson. Joe Cabral checks in on him. I kind of check once in a while, but
Tell me where.
having some health issues, you know. I don't know.
Tell me where he lives. I'll go pay him a visit.
Somewhere out of Florida. I gotta check with Joe Cabral and find out how he's doing.
How about Tommy Trent? You ever see Tommy Trent?
Tommy Trent, I wound up Facebook friends with him. I should have got him on. Yeah, I've talked about coming on the Zoom shows, so I haven't, we haven't worked it out yet. He would have been good tonight.
Is just Joe Cabral on Facebook?
Nah, Joe Cabral don't do Facebook.
Yeah, wow.
That's another guy. Joe Cabral is one of the nicest, sincere people, kindest men I met. He is
Joe Cabral, I'll tell you what he does every year at Christmas time. He picks about 4 friends, him and his wife. She dresses as Mrs. Claus, he dresses as Santa. And when my kids were really young, he came over here and I took videos of Joe. They were up in bed. I took videos of him putting all the presents out, drinking the milk, having the cookies,
that's cool.
and leaving. And I showed my kids the next day the VCR tape. And for a while longer, wow, Santa, really, there is a Santa. So Joe Cabral has got a big heart to do that every year, for years he did it. He go to 4 or 5 people,
He didn't just go around your house and bang on your basement windows to scare the shit out of you?
Mikey did that. Mikey, one time he left me, dropped me off. I'm in my basement. All of a sudden, he's looking in the window, banging on the window. Nuts. Like, who the hell's banging on my window?
Love Joe Cabral.
It was like one in the morning too. It was late. It was like 1 in the morning.
We got to wrap this up, Mike Cronin, and we're going to start with Mike Thomas. This has been a great episode. I love having all you guys and girls bring back the Great Impasta to life for this period of time. It was a lot of fun. Mike, what are you going to say to wrap it up?
So listen, I got to go into my garage right now. I got a lot of ballots to shred. Georgia, they sent me 11,870 ballots. I got to go shred them in the garage.
All right, Mike. That's all you got to say. He's nuts. Dave, the zany one Watson, returns to the Great Impasta tonight. What are you going to say, Dave, to wrap it up?
Well, I'll tell you, I'm retired, but you can tell by the shirt, I rent myself out as a construction cone. And so, if you need it, you got a hole somewhere, I'll stand by it. I'm available. Just want to let you know.
We're going to get you back in a comedy. You and Timmy, we're going to get you guys back.
I'll come back.
We're going to get you back. You're retired now. You might as well, when things come back, we'll have some fun, Dave.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you'll come back? Will you come back?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
All right.
Yep.
Well, when things start picking up again, I'll be in touch. Well,
Okay.
I'll have you guys on here again. We're going to do this again.
I just want to interrupt for 1 second. Other than Allison, because Allison still looks like she did 30 years ago. You really do.
I got enough hair for all of you.
I'm telling you right now, this just looks like a big meeting at a nursing home. It's like a bingo game. I'm telling you, I put a fresh diaper on right before this, but I gotta change it now. This has filled me up.
Well, we have aged a little bit. We have aged. Allison, it's the same, but we've all aged a little bit. Yes, we have. Allison, what are you going to say to wrap it up, AO?
At the Copacabana.
I knew you were going to sing.
His fault. It's his fault. Going in my head. I've got one of those earworm problems,
We love you, Allison.
I love you guys. It's great seeing everybody.
Great having you on. Tim Sullivan, the man. I should probably knock him out because he got me into comedy. He said, let's start an open mic, and I thought he was a lunatic. And here we are 30 years later. What are you going to say to wrap it up, Tim? It's great to see you.
Great to see all of you. Give Terry my best for the new year, and hopefully we get rid of this virus thing. Just hopefully goes away with this vaccine.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I hope so.
We miss, I'll tell you about Tim. Tim's a great guy. When he lived in Rhode Island or when he'd come and visit, he'd always pop over to the house. He'd say, I'm coming over. And he'd bring like a Greg's cake or some big cake or something he put on the table. Terry was always, oh, wow. And Tim's one of the greatest guys you ever want to meet. You guys are all great. Tim's a great guy. And he was my drinking buddy for a period of time there when he was in Newport. And we had some laughs and we had a lot of good times. And great having you on. All you guys, great having you guys on. So we'll have to have a Great Impasta reunion too.
Sounds good.
Mike Cronin, what are you gonna say? What do you got, Mike?
And John, when I'm in Rhode Island, I'm gonna come and visit you, but I'm not bringing you shit. I'm just letting you know that right up front.
You don't have to bring a Greg's cake. I just put that out there so that to let you guys know how nice Timmy is. You know what I mean? You guys don't want to bring Greg's. It's your business. Mike Cronin, what are you gonna say to wrap this mishmash up?
I am humbled and honored to have been on this show. I was looking forward to it all day. It was great to see everybody. Tim Sullivan, man, you were cute when you were younger. You have aged. I mean, I just want to squeeze those ruddy cheeks. You are beyond cute. Thank you for the role you played in my career, giving me these gigs in the early start. Dave Watson, you have aged, and as I'm looking at you, you could really stand next to David Lee Roth and say that you're his brother. I do see like a similarity there. You also, Dave, I remember you being so kind and just friendly. Mike Thomas, dude, love you. Love you. You just bring so much energy to these shows that we do. It's always good to see you. Alison, one of my oldest friends in comedy, love you dearly. We've had so much fun throughout the years. I remember the one show we did with Nick Albanese. Nick does a show on the night of an all-star Red Sox game. There's like 10 comics and 2 people. So I text Alison, you want to go watch the Red Sox after? She texted me back, yep. So we all went down the road and watched the Red Sox game. It was great to be on the show. I appreciate being on each and every time. I do want to mention Dana Nathanson, whose mom passed away. Let's hold Dana in her prayers. Pray for God's comfort over her. She was very close to her mom. And let's just continue to do this. You know, I was watching this morning CBS Sunday with Jane Pauley, and I thought of you right away, John. I was going to call you, but I didn't know if you were going to be up or playing with Winston, your grand dog there. They had the segment on with Barry Gibb. And, man, that guy was so talented. And they asked him, do you miss touring? Do you want to tour again? And he said, I do miss it. He said, you know, if the people want me, I want to be wanted. And that brought me to you, John, because I've told you over and over again, when we get through this, and God will see us through this, you've been entertaining audiences throughout New England for 30 years. They're going to come back.
I'm old now, Mike. I'm old.
You know,
we're going to bring back the Zany one, Tim Sullivan, Mike, Allison. We're going to call it the Geritol Tour.
I'm telling you.
The Depends Tour.
Mike, you mentioned Dave Nathanson. I just want to put it out there. Who has crossed paths with more comedians in Rhode Island than Dana Nathanson, and she remembers every single name in the comedy sections.
Yeah.
Dana was there through it all. Yeah. And she ran that place tough, because I remember Tim worked there. She was tough, Dana, and I went there to do a few spots, and Dana said, you got to go up and say this, then bring up the act, and at the end of the show, I said too much stress.
I want to tell one Dana story. Dana and Claudia gave me a ton of work outside of the connection. I did bachelor parties making $350. So Rockin' Joe calls me up. He's got this like month-long contest coming on, and he wants me to, you know, you do it when you come in. You know, you're a veteran. You've been around. I can at least know I'm going to get so. Sure, absolutely, I'll do it. So I come down there for night one, and Dana comes marching into that little green room with her hair bouncing, and she says to me, Cronin, I give you enough work outside of the club. Do not do your act here. Pivots and walks right out the room. So I looked at Rocky Joe. I'm like, dude, what's up with that? I got to play the songs that brought me to the dance. So now, as this thing is going along, well, ultimately, I end up winning it at the end of the month. And I took my bow, and I threw my hair back like I used to always. And I looked up. She was at the counting room, leaning on the bow, looking at the stage, and man, if the look she gave me could have melted me, I would have been melted right then and there. But Dana, if you listen, I love you. I pray God comforts you. You played such a great role in comedy. God bless you, Dana.
All right, kids, that's the Great Impasta reunion show. 29 years later, we're back. You guys all look great. It was great talking to everybody. Love all you guys. Dave, I'll take you up on that. We're gonna work on getting Timmy out from Vegas when we're gonna do a Great Impasta reunion show. We'll get everybody back out here and do a show. That'd be cool.
That sounds great.
All right, guys. Happy New Year, everybody. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, everybody. God
Stay
bless.
safe, stay healthy, be careful out there.